Chapter 7, The Academy Starts. As we talked, the time passed quickly, and there we were at the entrance of the academy. A large yard awaited us as we got off the plane, and many other planes had arrived, and some were arriving. We four entered the academy, following the guide that was assigned to us. As we walked in, he explained to us that in this academy, the course you have selected will be of 3 years, and each year you have to get 90% marks to get scholarship for the following year. The highest marks ever recorded is 95%, and this was that too due to mistake of a staff member in incorrect checking of paper. Otherwise, that student's score was meant to be 93%. Well, that's all in the past. This is the amphitheater where your orientation will be given, and here are your seat registration device. It give the preference of the seat you want. In 10 min you will be notified your seat number. I then opened the device and said to them who were peeking over my shoulder that I am taking seats at the last with all of us together, and is it okay? They then replied, go on, send the preference. Together. And hence I sent the preference, and a few minutes later a notification came saying that our seats were confirmed, and it on the spot printed the pass. We gave a high five to each other as we are delighted that we got the seats that we were looking for. And then together we walked inside the amphitheater, and there we showed our pass. After the pass was confirmed, we were checked for security reasons. After checking if all was clear, then we were given go-ahead, which resulted in us being reunited. Then we moved forwards towards our seats, and soon found it, as they were well labeled. I and my friends quickly sat. I took out a cigarette and lit it, taking in a big puff, simultaneously offering one to others, which they readily took. Then we started to puff together. Well, the girls rejected it. But they did not recognize the brand, which I was grateful for, as it was one of the most expensive brand, which I brought from my home, but unfortunately unable to use it till now. It was a pack of 30, so now I had 28 left for the next 6 years. The origination was beginning, an announcement was made. Just then they also announced the head of the Academy's Magic and Martial Arts Department. Mr. Wonk is entering, followed by Mrs. Wonk in charge of this year batch. Hearing this, I and Sam look at her with a questioning look in our eyes. Noticing this, she told, yes, they are my parent. Nonchalantly, but in a whisper. Me, Sam and Angle looked in shock at her. I and Sam was understandable, but Angle. She gave an explanation that she knew that her parents worked her at the academy but never pried any further, so it was quite surprising that they worked here. She further stated, well, now that I think about it, it is not that illogical. After all, her family is ranked quite high in our continent, to be precise 30th, but we were ranked 100th in our kingdom. Well, the Zoya parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wonk, started to give speeches. We welcome you, new students of our PRESTIJOUS establishment, to a new start of your life. And we are happy that it could be with US. Well, let's start with giving an overview of this department. This department is the worst department for student life, which you may hope to be fun. The amount of curriculum to be taught is greater than any other department. We welcome you to hell. Now, you will be divided in 3 houses, which are knowledge, power, money houses. In this, you will have the choice to pick the house you want to enter, and then your curriculum will be set accordingly. The function of the houses are as the name implies, which mean, in house knowledge you will be given unprecedented knowledge, which you can use to build or work whatever you like to do with the power of knowledge you will acquire in the house. And the knowledge house has incredible and ancient books from ancient times ready to be acquired. House power, in this house you will be taught on how to manage, build and influence different types of power, both the physical, mental, and influential power. The curriculum will be set in such a way that by the time you graduate, most of you can gain a job in almost any sort of company, or step into the royal's kingdom's hierarchy. Finally, but not the least, house money. You will be taught on how to earn money, what to do, and all knowledge related to money will be given, such as helping a startup grow or getting you ready for a job among the top executives in our nations. If I had to tier the houses among the past students' reviews, house money ranks first, and then house power. The lowest tier will be house knowledge. For further inquiries or review by previous students, see the community board in your Academy app. Now choose your houses in the form within 5 min. Those who are unable to fill it up correctly will be expelled. We opened the form, and it had 100 pages, which meant we had to do 20 pages a min. And that too with every little detail we can think of. Well, we barely managed to finish it in time. About a fifth did not make it in time, and hence, they were immediately expelled. The professors continued saying, "There are less than 10 students who graduate every year, from the 300 students admitted each year in each house. Well, even if you fail the first year, you may get a small job, such as being a low-tier manager of a new company, but if you pass, then you may straight up join a company as a CEO, or be the direct advisor of the king some nations. Now, according to the form you have filled, go to your houses. See you at the time of your graduation or great achievements. Me and my friends went to our houses. Me and all of my 4 friends choose the knowledge house, but the reason we choose. It was completely different. As for me, I had nothing left to learn in the other houses, as all of this was what I had already learnt before coming here, and so I was hoping if I could learn something new here. My friend choose this as here, they will teach martial arts and magic at the core. And the girls came to this department to gain knowledge. For Zoya, she wanted to become a professor as her parents, and Engel wanted to be with her friends. We headed to our houses. Chapter 8, the Knowledge Housing Tier. We entered the main building of our house, which had everything you could ever wish for. It included the campus, in which all lectures will take place, and a separate area for the entire shopping district for all sorts of required and non-essential stuff, as well as some of the great food chain retailers, and local ones spread all are the area of our house, and an entirely different place for our residents, which included some of the world's finest villas and high-end resort-level housing. The on-campus housing was divided in the following manner. There were tiers such as the bottom tier, the 7th tier. It was a broken, run-down apartment block with 1-bedroom complex with shared bathroom, for those who had no points. Now the 6th tier, it included a nicely maintained apartment complex for those who had 70,000 points in their account. Next come the 5th tier, they now receive a private bathroom at 100,000 points. Moving on to 4th tier, this now includes all the basic necessities given to your doorstep every day, and a nice practice room for personal use in the entire complex. All this for a mere 180,000 points. Now this is where things being to chance, the 3rd tier, now everyone has their own private house with everything, which includes personal library with command to uncommon ranked books and training methods, as well as all the facilities of the lower tier, but with better quality, for those who have 290,000 points in their account. Now comes the 2nd tier, which includes a villa with 2 or 3 personal maids only for maintaining the house, and 1 training instructor from the academy's staff if requested, and the second highest stuff like sofa, training material of rare and below ranks, etc. For those with 400,000 points. Now the highest tier, the 1st tier, those who are considered at the top of the academy, the topper of their class, with 1 million points in their account and unlimited resources, and access to God-level and unworldly ranked books with the freedom to have any teacher teach you personally, a resort with over 10 rooms, a pool, and a large training hall with foods from all over the world, and personal staff of over 20 people of your choice as maids and butlers ready to do anything. The master of the resort commands even those what cannot be defined here, including licking you clean to placing their hands out of that you don't have to dirty your shoes. The points were awarded for each achievement and could spend them however you see fit, making points the ultimate king. We could trade or sell them. Well, this is it for now. See you in the next chapter, as we will the subject selection process and what our MC choose. Chapter 9, Start of Curriculum Selection. Today, after moving to my allocated room, we met at the entrance of the warp gate to selection room, which is also known as Execution Ground by senior students, and its official name is Practice Hall. Well, how these names came about is something to talk about at a later date. Now, let's continue with our current affairs of course selection. When we entered the selection room, we were greeted by an even larger crowd, then the orientation, all jumbled up. Soon, we began to explore the place. This ground alone was about the size of a city like Liverpool, Goa, sub-district of Moscow, etc. Half of the freshers were present, who were going to choose their path for their future self. As we began exploring, I saw my sis, who was surrounded by many, due to her indescribable beauty and her outstanding score, as well as being part of a decently rich family. Obviously, it was a fake family arranged by me, but no one knew about it. We avoided that place, as none of us wanted to gain attention. We spotted a quiet corner and drifted there. After reaching there and gaining some room to breath, Zoya asked us, "What subjects are you guys planning to choose?" And without waiting, she said in an excited manner, "Well, I am going for magic, commerce, and basic healing." Hearing this, we nodded in acknowledgement that it was indeed a good choice and that we are pleased with your choices. Sam commented that, "I am also choosing magic and commerce." "Well, but my third subject will be swordsmanship instead." And then he continued, "So I am lucky that I get to be with you for 2 of our lectures." Zoya exclaimed, "Hey, when did you decide to take commerce?" "I thought you hated stuff like these," Sam said sheepishly and in a low tone, "after you said that." Zoya intermediately asked while stepping a bit forward, "Hey, what did you say?" I, saving my friend's skin, put a hand on his shoulder and said, "By the way, Engel, what about you?" "What subjects are you going to choose?" Engel replied, "Well, to be honest, I have not decided yet." Zoya immediately held Engel's hands and said, "What? How can you not have decided yet?" Engel sighed but didn't reply. Well, this series of events left my friend's slip of tongue forgotten. Well, we thought so for the time being. Engel instead diverted the attention by asking me, "Abhai, what have you decided?" Just as she finished asking, everyone else butted in, "Yeah, what have you decided to pursue?" I then replied with an indifferent expression, "I will take up scholar course, blacksmith and engineering." Hearing me say this in a straight face made them almost lost their mind and shouted, "How can you say that with a straight face? Don't you know that the future in these courses are slim and have no freedom?" I replied sheepishly, I know, but this is what I want to do." "Sam, but bro, are you sure?" "I would prefer if you change your mind." "Abhinath, yes, I am sure." Puffing out my chest, "You don't need to worry about me, don't you know how good I am in everything?" Hearing this, Sam was thinking, what the FCK is he thinking, then said, "You can ask me for help if you ever need some, and stop your bragging." Then Sam wrapped his hand around my neck and hand over heart spoke, "You can always trust and ask for help from me." Right at this moment, a voice echoed throughout the stadium, "Welcome all, now please choose your subjects by speaking in the mic which will appear in front of you." Nah. The choices is being displayed in the display over you guys, so get your dumb heads up, see ya. BTW, you need to finish deciding your subjects in 1 min, otherwise you will be expelled. You have 40 seconds left now, good luck. We all were momentarily shocked, and a deafening silence flew across the entire field for a second. Then, in an instant, they all fell into chaos, all speaking into the mic, their subjects' choices. We saw that all our choices were displayed on the board, so we didn't think much and simply said what we had decided earlier. We all finished just in time. However, many were unable to do so and therefore were expelled, which included about 50 kids who were mocked as they left. This method of assessment was straightforward yet powerful, as it showed the students' quick judgment in a difficult situation, a basic skill in our academy. This skill would be developed further more than 1,000 times later, so this was just the minimum requirement for starting out. At the same time, it's important to note that making choices under pressure can be challenging. By practicing this skill, students learn to think quickly and effectively, which is valuable not only in academic settings, but also in real-life situations. The lessons learned from this experience can help them face future challenges with greater confidence and poise. Just as we were wondering what to do next, a sudden blue screen popped out of nowhere. Credit, writer or weekly writer. Donate at UPI ID, weekly at TIES.